Learn how to read and extract the text content from an HTML element using both Jquery method and native JavaScript alternatives. In this lesson, we want to look at how you can get text content using both Jquery and vanilla JavaScript method. So we are going to look at how Jquery can grab a string of words from inside an element and then save it into a variable or move it somewhere else or use it in a calculation. So let's move on. Now, in our HTML section, let's add a couple of paragraphs with ID. So let me call this 01. Hello world. Then another one with 02. Hello Niger. Then another one with 03. Hello Portugal. So now I have these three paragraphs. I want to go ahead and use Jquery to manipulate them to get text. So how do I do this? Well, firstly, I need to select the document .ready and then add a function inside it. And inside this function, let's make a variable and call it my text. You can call it any name of choice. Then use this to select whatever your ID is. So in my case, my ID, I want to select the ID of 02. And then pass in text method after it. Now, I can use the $sign again to select what I want to update, which is the demo for that empty paragraph. I say text and then call it my text. And now, if you look at my screen, you can see that I am getting LOJ, which is this first ID of 2. I just picked the content from here and also pasted it here. And let me show you clearly. This is actually not going to work. Okay, I know what to do. So let me take all of this out and put it here. Okay, we're still having everything inside of this, but this time it's down. So this is my empty paragraph. So I want to show you that it is not part of what you add at the top. So you can see that hello Niger is coming as the last element. So the content of this that has an ID of 02 is what we just transfer and get into the paragraph with an empty content. You can see hello Niger underneath it. So let's now look at this in a vanilla JavaScript. So we just looked at it inside jQuery. So vanilla JavaScript, you still go ahead and add a variable, my text. And inside this, then you use the document.getElement by ID to get the ID of what you want to manipulate. And in our case, 02, without adding the hash symbol to signify that it's an ID. In vanilla JavaScript, you don't need that hash to signify that it's an ID. JavaScript already understand what it is. And then use our text content. And now that we have this, then we can go ahead and use document.getElement by ID to select where we want to make the changes. Text content equals to my text. And now you see that it is still working the same way. Hello Niger. You can see it. So we are selecting our ID here with the document of get elements by ID method and the text content. And here we are targeting this empty paragraph and replace its content that is empty with whatever is found inside the content of the element with an ID of 02. And that is why you are seeing Hello Niger, as you can see here on the screen. Now, here are key takeaways from this lesson. Number one, in Jquery, many methods do two completely different jobs depending on what is inside the parentheses. For example, the .text, which is this part, this .text here gets the text from the element. That is, the .text method here is getting the element from the element that has this ID. And then the .text hello with text set the element text to hello. So what am I saying in essence? So if you look closely at what we have here, now you will notice that this same method is what we are just using to, pass our text to this ID of our empty paragraph tags, and it's giving us what we want on the screen. Now, let me comment it back. And now, let me stick with this vanilla format. Now, look at this vanilla way of getting text content. If you look closely at it compared to the Jquery method, you can see that it is a lot simpler. In Jquery, we have to first get the text before we now write it. But in vanilla JavaScript, you can see by targeting the ID of the elements that want to get its text, we were able to save it inside this variable, and just this variable is what we need to just send to our DOM to output whatever content is contained inside that variable. Number two, just like setting text, reading with .text method or native .text content ignores any HTML formatting, like B or span format that might be buried inside the element, giving you purely the raw text letters. And lastly, native JavaScript .text content property handles both reading and writing natively, completely eliminating the need for an external library. So, like I said, that passing this variable directly eliminates a dependency on any external library, as it handles both reading and writing. So by setting it into this variable, it handles both the written and the writing, and we are able to output the purpose here on the screen.